So one of the areas I think is extremely important is Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. So let's walk through this cash flow quadrant and see how and where we are designated based on the quadrant. So if you're in the E quadrant, that stands for employee, where you have a job, you're trading time for dollars. About 5% of the U.S. wealth is made up of this quadrant and the bottom left quadrant, which is the S quadrant, where you're self-employed, where you own a job. Instead of having a job, you own a job. Your business owns you, so to speak, where you're still trading time for dollars. This is where you are self-employed, sole proprietor, and really you have a business, but according to the IRS, you really haven't participated or used the benefit of the IRS code like if you would have in the B quadrant, which is the business owner quadrant. The business owner quadrant is where you have set yourself up as a business entity, an S corporation, a C corporation, an LLC that's taxed as an S or a C corporation or a partnership are examples of business entities. Now, the reason why this is important is because the IRS, when you think about it, is your business partner. Now, they're not going to call clients, right? They're not going to package up things and ship it out. And what the IRS as your business partner does is they give you the benefit of the IRS tax code. They give you tax deductions, tax incentives, tax credits, and tax rebates. 4 types of tax savings opportunities for you and I as business owners to have more cash flow. That's why the IRS as your business partner gives you the ability to reduce your taxes so you have more cash flow, because they understand and know that as a business, if you have more cash flow, what are you going to do with that cash flow? That's right. Put it back in your business. We're addicted to our business. And so because they know we're addicted to our business, we're going to put that cash flow back into our business. And what happens when we have more cash flow in our business? Our business grows and it thrives. And when it grows to where you as a business owner aren't able to do the day-to-day tasks of an only employee, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to hire E quadrant employees or S quadrant self-employed. You're going to have to hire people to do certain tasks for your business. And that is the consistent revenue stream that the IRS is looking for, is income taxes. Okay? Revenue from income taxes. Now, in Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, there's one more quadrant, the bottom right, which is the I quadrant, the investor quadrant, own investments. Now, Robert Kiyosaki was writing his book for the general public, so he uses the words investments or investors. But in actuality, what he was talking about is being an asset builder. You need to have assets. Assets create cash flow, and the cash flow is what you're looking for. So you need to be an asset builder and build assets that create cash flow for you and your business and yourself as an individual. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to take one step further, and we're going to look at the IRS tax forms of the 1040 tax forms, okay? These are the tax forms that allow you to understand where you benefit from the IRS code, if any. Now, as an E quadrant employee under Schedule A, you get to itemize deductions. What's that mean? Well, medical bills, if they're a certain percentage of your adjusted gross income, your AGI. Your mortgage interest to your mortgage, charitable deductions or charitable contributions. If you have taxes, state and local taxes that you're able to deduct from your taxes. So Schedule A. Now, if you don't have enough itemized deductions that is beyond the standard deduction, then you get the standard deduction. If you have more, then you file a Schedule A, and then you claim those extra deductions as but that's your tax savings for an employee. Now, self-employed, you get not only the Schedule A, but you also get the Schedule C, where you can write off expenses of doing business as a sole proprietor. Now, The problem here is that you're going to be, as an individual, paying both self-employment tax and employee tax. So you're paying everything on your own, okay? And you don't have the ability really to be able to plan on some of the strategies that are out there for tax benefits from a business perspective. That's where we go to the top right quadrant, the B quadrant, where you have a Schedule E, where you also have a profit and loss, where each business entity has its own tax form, and whatever happens, profit or loss on that separate business entity tax form, that flows to your personal tax return, the 1040 on the Schedule E, where it summarizes it, okay? Now, there's other business entity forms that are available that we're not going to show here, but we're just trying to give you an idea from a cash flow quadrant, the individual tax forms, the 1040, of where these quadrants land on a tax return. Now, the bottom right quadrant, the asset builder quadrant, is also the Schedule E. It's a different page of the Schedule E, and typically it is real estate that falls into that category. Okay? Now, this is really the summary and the summarization of the cash flow quadrant. You need to figure out where and what quadrant you need to be in. The ideal quadrant is to be in the B quadrant and to be in the A quadrant, or the asset builder quadrant.